Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. So, DAZN's first show with Eddie exclusively has been and gone. Brilliant fight, Lee Woodzucan, no complaints with that whatsoever. Solid performance from Fowler, and obviously he's been announced now to fight Smith, which is going to be a cracking fight, Liam Smith. But I just wanted to touch upon this because, besides my own boxing podcast, I do follow others, and no one's really touched upon this. Has Hearn made a mistake leaving Sky Sports? Now, I know a lot of people say it's just far too early to say. You can't make any judgment for at least a year, and in many ways they make a valid point. But all I'm saying, I'm not here to stir the pot. I'm not a Frank Warren fanboy. I'm not an Eddie Hearn fanboy. I'm totally neutral in this. I just love boxing. But unlike the diehards like myself, and obviously people on boxing podcasts and boxing forums, the casuals, who ultimately make up a big audience. Let's be honest, especially if the pay-per-view deals that went on, should I say, and Sky Sports. When a big fight would come along, they'd get excited, they'd pay. Certainly the viewers, let's be honest, with Sky Sports, a lot of casuals, not just diehards, tuned in. So I've got friends who, would happily admit they're casual fans. They tune in, tune out boxing. If they like a fight, they'll watch it. If they don't like the card, they won't. They didn't even know Saturday night was happening. Had no idea. They barely know what DAZN is. I mean, they just see it as an app on a phone. Same with Triller. Now, Eddie Hearn says these apps are the future. And he might be right. I mean, let's be honest, we live in a smartphone world now. Instant access, gigabytes, the whole 9 yards. But that's a concern because my friends like boxing. They didn't know it was on. You go on Facebook, it's not the same. Or Twitter, the general chit-chat, the general buzz isn't there. The promotions, the radios, the papers, it isn't there. Suddenly, you realise just how big the Sky Sports machine was. Not just in viewing, but Sky Sports News, across, obviously, Virgin Media, across all cable networks, across the app. It was big, and it touched a lot of people. And think of the millions of people that tune in to watch Premier League football. Between matches, advertisements, the boxing ads were shown. That's all gone. Suddenly, Hearn has lost a big market. Now I know what he's going to say. Yes, but now I'm going to grow my own market. DAZN's expanding. In 2 years' time, it will be a worldwide global phenomenon, bigger than just Sky Sports in the UK. I'll have more control. I'll have more access. But ultimately, at the moment, that's unproven. It's a risk. DAZN is not big in the UK, I'm sorry to say. Maybe in the US market, yes, with Canelo, I get that. And other sports that they're investing in, like basketball. But in the UK, it's nowhere near the level of Sky Sports. That again, champion darts, Premier League football, that big marketing machine behind it, the advertising machine, it drew casuals in. It drew the whole nation in. The excitement, the buzz, the production, I thought of Sky Sports was outstanding. Now, for me, the DAZN production, yes, it was good, but it seems very over the top, I feel. Very, without sounding offensive to anyone, Americanised. I don't think it touched the nerve of Fight Camp in Essex. I don't think it had the same kind of context or the same kind of feel that Sky Sports brought with its unique kind of proud British culture and the way it kind of merged beautifully with Essex, a Matchroom, and it didn't try and be over the top. It got it right. The production was just right. I felt DAZN's production was, some people say, superior. It wasn't for me. it was almost bordering on cheesy at times. Overdone, over-marketed, like it was in Vegas, not in Essex. That's what I'm talking about. The two presenters, Maya and Laura Woods, very glamorous, very, what we say, showbiz, but, you know, their boxing knowledge, I'm not convinced. I'm not sure if I want to see presenters that clearly are learning on the job when it comes to boxing. And that's not a knock on them. They're fantastic presenters in what they do. They're just not boxing experts. You've lost the brilliance, the passionate of Adam Smith, of Johnny Nelson. And you replaced them with Maya and Laura Woods. And, you know, you've lost the brilliance of the commentating of Adam Smith. And you've replaced them, you know, with an outstanding trainer in Andy Lee. But has he got the same passion, the same excitement in his voice? He's very monotone for me. Yes, he knows what he's talking about. But, you know, so did Cole Froch, you know, who worked brilliantly with Adam Smith. It's a lot to replace, I think. And I don't think, and I don't want to be critical, it's a one show, I know that. But it's, for me, it doesn't seem to have the same magic right now. And maybe that will take time. Maybe it's just a case of people getting used to the new. And I get, you know, it's probably going to expand, improve on the job. I get that. But for me, I can't help thinking has Hearn made a mistake. You know, will DAZN crash and burn? You look at the money that's going out, the roster they've got, the money they're paying out to Canelo, to Triple G, to Haney, now he's expanding to Garcia. How much money can they keep forking out until they go enough's enough? Because ultimately, you know, they're not at the moment getting the money back in. That's a fact. Check the record books. They're at a loss. Now, I know the head of DAZN Boxing said that. They said they're willing to take a 2-year loss before expanding and growing. But no one likes a loss. No one likes a long-term loss. And 2 years is a long time. So, you know, for me, I believe DAZN need to get on a channel. It's all well and good having an app, but they need to get on the TV channel. That's the big thing for me. If they don't get on the TV channel, then they're never going to get, I don't think, the public figures, the viewing figures, certainly in the UK, that Hearn expects and demands and needs, quite frankly, unlike Sky Sports. So, you know, it's pros and cons. I know some people will say it's too early. I just can't help thinking it's a big risk. Time will tell if Hearn's a genius or he's made a mistake. But what I'm saying now is the Sky Sport production was fantastic. And I know Hearn and Tony Bellew alluded, they get to say their own thoughts and feelings now. They get that big sound of production, how it's going to be done. But sometimes having absolute power isn't a good thing. Sometimes you need to rein it in. You know, sometimes you need to work alongside someone of Sky Sports experience over quality and a period of time to merge, to find that. If you're just on your own, it can easily turn into the Wild West. And I fear of matchroom boxing maybe bitten off more than they can chew with promoting and producing. You have to wonder. Time will tell.